Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today what we're going to be talking about is reported speech. Now, reported speech can be quite a difficult grammar point to understand. So we're going to go through the different parts of reported speech, and hopefully these series of videos will help you understand it much clearer. So we're going to start with the first one, which is verb tense changes. Okay, there's 4 series of videos and we're going to go through each one, and hopefully you'll understand much better at the end of this video. Okay? Okay, so when we report what someone said, the tense of the verb is often further back in time. So you have to imagine that when we're talking about reported speech, somebody or someone or something is telling somebody else what somebody has said. So, in other words, you are going back in a time machine, okay? Going back to a tense further back than the tense that you have used. So, I'm feeling ill. I am feeling ill, which is the present continuous, which then goes back in time to be the past continuous. So, he said he was feeling ill. Now, somebody says this, and it then gets changed into the past continuous because this is the present continuous. And somebody is explaining or reporting what this person has said in the past. Okay? So, in the first sentence, as we said, we use the present continuous, which then in the following sentence goes back in time to become the past continuous. Okay? Down here at the bottom, we have a very simple formula to create the reported speech. We always have to begin with a subject noun or pronoun. So in this case, I've used she, plus the reporting verb. So in this case, said. The conjunction, which is that, but it's not always necessary to put in the conjunction. Okay, it's not compulsory, but you can use it if you want to. And then we finish off with the reported speech clause. Okay, the clause is the part of the sentence to finish off the reported speech. So she said that she wanted a coffee. However, you can also say she said she wanted a coffee. As you see, you don't need to actually use the conjunction. Okay, let's go through and have a look at some more examples. Okay, so understanding reported speech. So again, the main reason we use reported speech is to report what somebody has said. Okay, so somebody has to say something first, and then that piece of speech is then reported by somebody else. So imagine you are Gary. You are going to a party with your friend Mary, and in the next slide, you are going to be at the party and you're going to read the conversations that take place. So let's go to the party. Okay, so this party is great. I love the music. Yeah, the music is great. Do you want some cake? Oh, yes, please. It looks delicious. Do you want to dance? Oh, I really can't dance. Okay, so you are now at home with your father, talking about what happened at the party. So you are telling your father John what had happened, or what happened. Or better said, you are reporting what was said at the party. Okay, so John says to Gary, "Hey, Gary, how was the party?" And Gary is going to report everything back to John. So, "Hey, Dad, well, it was great. I saw Mary there. She said that she loved the music. I asked her if she wanted some cake and she said yes. She said it looked delicious. I asked her if she wanted to dance, but she said that she couldn't dance. Okay, so all of these sentences have been reported from what somebody else has said, and each of the sentences has changed the tense and gone back in time to the tense further back. Okay. Okay, so let's have a look at some further explanations. Here is a breakdown of the reported statements. So the statements are normal sentences, okay, everyday sentences, and here we have 3. So Gary reported to his father what Mary said to him at the party. Now, Mary, in the direct speech, so live, so the first thing that she says, the way that she says it, in the present, I love the music, okay? Now, the tense is present simple. So I love is the present simple. Now, to turn this into a reported statement, okay, or the indirect speech, we have to go back into our time machine and turn it into the past simple. So we have to find out first who is talking. So this is Mary and she is a girl. So we start with the pronoun she. She said that, our conjunction, but it's not necessary. That is why it is in brackets. She loved the music. Loved is the past simple because we have to change the present simple and go further back in our time machine to the past simple. Okay? Here, we have another sentence. It looks delicious. Again, Mary is the one speaking. And this is the present simple. Okay, so looks with the S at the end is talking about the present simple, third person singular. So the present simple then has to go back in time to our time machine, go further back to the past simple. Okay, so she said, because it's Mary speaking, that it looked delicious. Now, the it is referring to the cake, okay? And looks is the present simple, and in the past simple, it's looked. Okay, so here we're having a look as well. We've got one more sentence. I really can't dance. Now, this is a modal verb, okay? Can't is a modal verb. Can't, might, may, could, couldn't. These are all types of modal verbs. Now, modal verbs do not change depending on the person or the thing that we are talking about. So, I really can't dance. Now, can't in the past is couldn't because it's talking about the ability to be able to dance. So, I really can't dance is turned into couldn't. So she said that she couldn't dance. Okay, it's the modal verb of ability, which we put into the past simple. Okay. Right, so here, see if that goes away. Here we have a very useful table for you all to learn. Okay, this is very important because it shows you the exact tense that you need to use when we go into our time machine. Okay, direct speech basically means what the person says. Okay, so when the conversation is happening, that is what the direct speech is, the thing that they say that comes from their mouths. So she always wears a coat. Okay, so this is, you need to imagine that somebody is saying this and they have a speech bubble coming out of their mouth. Okay, and we're using the present simple. Now, we go over to this side to our indirect speech, which again is another way of saying reported speech. Indirect and reported mean the same thing. Okay, so the present simple goes back in time to our time machine and turns into the past simple. The past simple of where is war. The same thing goes with the rest of the verbs. Present continuous becomes past continuous. The present perfect becomes the past perfect. So present perfect simple becomes past perfect simple. Present perfect continuous becomes the past perfect continuous. Now, have a look here, because this is quite interesting. When we're talking in the past simple in direct speech, we go back in time to our time machine and we arrive at the past perfect. So the present perfect and the past simple both become the past perfect. Okay? My friend gave me a bar of chocolate, gave being the past simple of give, and it turns into the past perfect, which is had given. Okay? Will becomes would. So I will finish my report in 2 days. He said he would finish his report. Can becomes could. The negative can't becomes couldn't. And here we have our modal verbs, like I mentioned before as well. May is a modal and it becomes might. Must is another modal verb and it becomes had to. The same as have to. So I have to submit this assignment by 3 p.m. tomorrow. She said she had to submit this assignment by 3 p.m. tomorrow. Okay? Hopefully that clears that up for you. This is very important to learn. Okay, so let's have a little bit of a further look. All right? The past perfect tenses and the modal verbs, would, could, and should, cannot move further back, so they remain unchanged. So, if in the direct speech the person or the thing says or uses a modal verb, it must stay the same because we cannot use our time machine to change that verb. I wouldn't go skiing again. Okay, so this is a direct speech because this lady is saying this from her own mouth directly. And as we take it back in time, we try to change the sentence, but what we can't change is our modal verb would. So I wouldn't go skiing becomes she said she wouldn't go skiing again. Okay, the same thing happens when our direct speech is talking about past perfect tenses. Okay, so past perfect simple and past perfect continuous. So the past perfect, we use the verb we use the verb had plus the past participle. I had never spoken to her before. We're using the past perfect simple. And this then becomes the same thing. We use the same idea of changing the sentence, but what we can't change is the past perfect tense. So she said she had never spoken to her before. Okay, another important thing that you need to know. The tense of the reported speech does not need to change in these circumstances. So, if we want to make it clear that what the speaker said is still true now or remains relevant. Okay, so I love black coffee. Now, if I love something, for example, black coffee, it is something that is not going to change in the sense that it's still true even now when I'm reporting the sentence. Okay, so she said she loves black coffee. It stays the same tense. Present simple still is present simple. We change the statement. We say she said she loves. So we have to change love to loves because it's the third person. We're talking about she or her. But it stays the same tense because it is still true. Okay? She hasn't stopped loving black coffee. She still loves black coffee. So we keep it the same tense. The same thing with this lovely man. I enjoy making art. He said he enjoys making art. It is something that he still enjoys, and it is still true, and it is still relevant. Okay, and the other time it doesn't change is when we're reporting, if the reporting verb is in the present. Now, I'm looking forward to my holiday. Okay, let's imagine you're on the phone and you're speaking to your friend. Okay, you have a friend with you, next to you, and you have another friend on the phone. If you're reporting what your friend on the phone is saying to your other friend, you are still talking in the present tense. So, for example, I'm looking forward to my holiday. He says. Now, the reporting verb here, we normally see it in the past tense. For example, he said. But when it's in the present simple, or the present tense, we have to keep the tense of the verb the same. So, I'm looking forward to my holiday, present continuous. He says he is looking forward to his holiday. The present continuous is the same, okay? Imagine, again, that you're on the telephone. You are talking to somebody on the phone whilst you are having someone next to you and you're reporting what is being said. So in this case, you are having to do it in the present tense. So the reporting verb stays in the present and the following part of the statement doesn't change. It's tense. Okay, I hope that has cleared things up with reported statements. Keep watching, and we're going to be talking about the following parts of reported speech. Have a great day. Bye.